Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be taking a look at two pretty cool Benny-fied versions of existing vehicles in-game. Now, these are called time attack cars, and the two we're going to be looking at today is the Dinka Blista Compact and the Karin Kuruma. Now, these two vehicles have been highly requested from Rockstar that they receive more modifications, whether in a workshop like Benny's or in some other, auto shop. And today, we're going to be taking a look at what those could look like in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, in the comment section down below, let me know which one you would prefer to have, the Dinka Blista Time Attack or the Karin Kuruma one, and be sure to drop a like on this video. You never know, Rockstar might see it and say, hey, this would be cool if we added this into the game and for Grand Theft Auto Online. All right, so let's start with the Karin Kuruma. You can see here the dark black car is the regular version with most of the upgrades applied to it that you can, and the white one is the Time Attack Benny-fied version, and you can see just how heavily modified this vehicle is. Now, the Karin Kuruma does have pretty good customization, but it lacks that extreme Benny-style customization, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. And even the inside of this vehicle shares some extreme modifications. So there isn't anything we can do in the LSC, but there is three things extra that we can apply to this vehicle. The first of which is a roll cage, which is pretty unique. It takes up primarily the entire inside of the car, making this a one-seater. The second feature is another fin that can be applied to the outside. And a third is an exposed intercooler that has the Karin engine logo right there, which actually looks pretty awesome for the Kuruma itself. So those are the three extra modifications that you can do to a vehicle like this. However, the big ticket items on this are definitely the liveries. So we actually have 5 different liveries, which looks pretty awesome. The first one is Apex Slide, which to me kind of gives me like a dragon sort of feel. It looks pretty awesome. I don't know. You get this like red and orange dragon that's on the left and the right and on the hood and on the trunk, and you've got all these sort of Asian sponsorships on there, which is pretty awesome. So that's actually pretty cool in my opinion. Goes, I guess, with the Karin Kuruma vibe. So that's the first one right there, which is Apex Slide. I love like the fire sort of vibe to it. That's pretty awesome. The second one is Team GTK. Now this features sort of this retro kind of cyan, bluish, green, purple, blue, and red. Now to me, this kind of reminds me of like those designs you would see on like paper cups in like the 90s and early 2000s. If I can find a photo of it, I'll put it on the screen. But you guys have probably seen one of these in real life, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting right here. It actually looks pretty cool, and I imagine with a funky color underneath, you can actually get this to look pretty awesome, but that is the Team GTK one. The next one is by far my favorite, and it is Cluck and Bell Japan. So it's literally Cluck and Bell, but in Japanese writing. They have some tasteful sponsorships like Taste the Cock. It has Cock-a-doodle-doo written all over the place. It has Big Smoke Approves written on the top. Again, this one's probably my favorite. It's a little bit outlandish, but I think the Cluck and Bell one is awesome, and the fact that it's in Japanese is pretty cool too. The second to last one is Kuruma LM Race Car, which is more of a serious livery. It adds a white dual set of stripes that go along the hood, the roof, and the back. And it also has a bunch of Karin sponsorships on there, as well as a bunch of other like kind of insignias, logos, and decals too. Again, this one is pretty cool. I'm a big fan of this one if you want a more like a serious approach to this car. And the final one, which is GT Stealth, is the exact same one, except it blacks out the car. It makes the stripes dark gray, and it applies the same liveries and insignias, and instead it makes them white. Now, if Rockstar were to ever add this vehicle into the game, what I would imagine them doing is something very similar to what they did with the Karin Sultan. They would turn the Kuruma into a supercar by removing 2 of its seats. So kind of like what this mod did, except all but 1 seat was removed. That's exactly what they would do. They would upgrade it from super to sports, and they would remove the seats because obviously you don't want a 4-door supercar, although that would be pretty unique and pretty cool. But that's what I would imagine them doing. This car is incredibly quick. It's super cool. It's heavily modified. And I think another vehicle like this would be awesome to have in Grand Theft Auto 5. So that right there is the Karin Kuruma Time Attack, aka the Benny-fied version of the Karin Kuruma. Again, let me know if you would be excited for that one in the comments section down below as we move on to our second vehicle of the day. Now, our second vehicle today is going to be the Dinka Blista Time Attack. Again, exact same thing here. We've got the black version, which is the regular in-game GTA 5 Dinka Blista, and the blue one is the one that we are going to be upgrading. Now, right now, it looks like it doesn't have a whole lot of modifications on there, and you're right, it really doesn't. but that's when we're going to start to apply some of the extras on a vehicle like this. So we can apply all of the other, upgrades that would typically come on the Dinka Blista, which is actually pretty cool, like the exhaust, upgrading the chassis, the hood, stuff like that, which is pretty awesome. But there's a ton of extras with this vehicle that we can do as well. The first extra is actually covering up the sunroof, which I think looks pretty interesting. It also does something to the back of the vehicle too, which is kind of cool. The second extra applies a huge wing to the back of the car, giving it a really unique look. The fourth extra applies a massive sunscreen to the front of the windshield. How can Michael even see out of the front? I'm not really too sure. And the last one actually covers up the headlights, which is definitely a unique look as well. So we'll keep all those on so you guys can kind of see how fully customized something like this could be. And then we actually have 3 different liveries to look at here. So the first one is probably my favorite. It's Dinka Power. Now, as you'll see a little bit later on, I choose a much better primary color, but it's kind of giving us a black, orange, and red vibe, or black, yellow, and red vibe, kind of giving me like a Germany kind of feel to it. It has 48 written on the side. It has a bunch of cool sponsorships as well. So that's the first one right there, Dinka Power. Again, you guys will see later on how it becomes one of my favorites. After that, we have Zero Racing. Zero Racing is pretty cool too. It takes, obviously, the Zero Gasoline sponsor and basically plasters it all over the place with a big zero written towards the rear wheel. And then on the body of the car, a whole bunch of little zeros all over the place too. That one is pretty cool too, and that is the Zero Racing one. And then the final one is a more serious one, and that is FF Works, which actually doesn't put a whole lot on the car. So again, that's probably why it's a little bit more of a serious take on a vehicle like this. But anyways, this right here was my final product. I ended up going with a white paint job and painting the wheels gold to sort of match the yellow that we have on there. And that is the Dinka Blista Time Attack, otherwise known as the Benified modified version of the Dinka Blista. Now, this one, I'm not so sure Rockstar would turn into a supercar, because to be very honest with you, the Dinka Blista doesn't even belong in the sports class. It belongs in the compacts. So it's in the wrong class to begin with, but I still think that this vehicle has a ton of potential. It has okay upgrades inside the LSC, but I think if it was ever allowed to go inside Benny's, there would be some epic modifications that we could do to a vehicle like this. But anyways, those are the 2 vehicles that I'm going to be going over for you guys today, the Time Attack cars in Grand Theft Auto Online. Like I said, let me know in the comments section down below which one you would like to see if you could only see one. Is it the Kuruma? Is it the Dinka Blista? Let us know in the comments section down below. Once again, if you guys did go to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.